Yes. Yeah. Oh no! It's Tuesday, and we know what time it is. The day that time forgot. Welcome back to the Treehouse, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everywhere. Everything is groovy, right? I want you to know right off the bat that my friend Lori Trout just had a venti white mocha delivered to my house, like 5 minutes ago. I got a text from her said, "You got a surprise waiting outside your door." I went downstairs, venti white mocha. So, yeah, obviously Lori wants me to have plenty of pep tonight because this is a tall order. Thank you, Lori. I see you there. I'm glad you're glad. Little baby. Plus, we have this. The mystery beverage tonight is in this beautiful cup that was sent to me during my hiatus from my good friend Demetra Schweiger. Oh yeah, and her husband Tim, who I've known since I was 9 years old, might have had something to do with it. He probably took it to the post office or something. Demetra. Who else is out there? Jeff Steve is out there. Hey, Jeff. Lori's here. Bill Williams here. Excellent. I believe we have a quorum, ladies and gentlemen. So how many of you were, let's see a show of hands here. How many of you got to see the lovely video from 1992 at its lovely premiere party last week? A second. Yeah. Well, if you didn't, here's something that was on that.
Thin grey mist that curtain the sun is falling. Paper-thin voice at the edge of sleep is calling. Holes in the path of this perfect world in front of us. On Alyce's birthday. Two blue gems in a lake of cream look up at me. Rain-wet street 4 floors below looks lonely. In the rush last night the midwife whispered family. On Alyce's birthday. Never so small and human as I feel today. Your selfless, painful gift I couldn't take away. Strange are the colors when your dreams come true in front of you. On Alyce's birthday. On Alyce's birthday.
there you go. I didn't think I'd be able to sing that song again. Turns out, if you play it through a few times, then the emotional part of it, which was always the thing, you can kind of bring it back into your consciousness enough to where you can actually get through it. So I hope that will remain true, because that was a song that meant a lot to me at the time and still does, some 29 years later. Yeah. Oh, well, I hope everybody's been okay. I have been probably way better than I deserve to be. I've had some good days and some bad days. Summertime is not the best time of year for me in my body. Tim will understand what I mean when I say body. But I'm here. I got an hour's worth of music in me. I think so. Of course, I may have used some of it up earlier today when I was rehearsing. But, what are you going to do? Plus, I do have some poetry for you tonight by a local poet who you may not know. But you may have heard of him. I don't know. We shall see. And there's also some special occasions happening tonight. Let's use your tuner, Bill. Yeah, it was flat, see? Brand new strings. For those of you keeping score at home. Last week, Jim and Renee celebrated their 30th wedding anniversary. Yeah. I hope Jim's out there. Jim, if you're out there, raise your hand. I don't want to sing this into the void. I want to sing this for Jim and Renee. Oh. I don't know. Jim? Jim! Well. Maybe I shouldn't do that one. Maybe I'll do, is Scott out there? See, I want to dedicate these songs to specific people, but I need to know they're out there first. So maybe I shouldn't do either one of those. Maybe I should do something altogether different. Wow. Okay. Here's one that's altogether different. I played Alyce's birthday, so I should probably play The Lone Ranger in the Moon too, shouldn't I? And if Jim Endicott can make a comment, and if Scott Higgins could make a comment, that would be excellent. That way I'll know that the songs I want to play for them, that they will hear. Also, Katie Keenan, Jim Page, if they're out there somewhere, if they could say something, that would be great also. Okay? In the meantime...
Little boy rocket, little Mr. Blister with the smile so wide. Little joy eyes, little hazel pockets, little Mr. just the right size. Little boy love, I see you in the kitchen. You running round in circles like a lost cartoon, talking to yourself and talking to your sister about the Lone Ranger in the moon. Can I have a sucker? Can I have a sandwich? Peanut butter mustard is my favorite kind. I can cut the bread and I can put the stuff on it, and I can take it all outside. Little boy love, I see you in the front yard, running round in circles like a wild baboon, talking to the trees and talking to the bushes about the Lone Ranger in the moon. Little Mr. Man, Mr. Personality, little Mr. Underwear outside your pants. When you grow up, you'll be a superhero, 'cause only superheroes get to dance. Little boy love, I see you in your bedroom, loving up a teddy bear until she swoons. Then you lie back and start to tell a story about the Lone Ranger in the moon. Daddy's far away now, but he'll be home soon. Daddy's down in Texas, but he's thinking of you. Little boy love, I see you in the kitchen, you're running round in circles like a lost cartoon. Let me tell you this, when I was down in Texas, I saw the Lone Ranger in the moon. Little boy love, I see you in my good dream, running round the circle like a favorite tune. Maybe next summer we'll both go down to Texas and meet the Lone Ranger in the moon. Maybe next summer we'll both go down to Texas and meet the Lone Ranger in the moon.
There you go. That's for J-Mo Flamo. Yeah. Goodness gracious. Now, in 1992, I hadn't written that song yet. Of course, James T. Davie hadn't been invented yet in 1992. Well, I'm just going to have to play these songs because I got a lot of dedications tonight. We had some birthdays this week and some coming up. Mr. David Pileski, the guy responsible for the album cover of Night Sky. He had a birthday yesterday. Yeah. Ginny Riley of Riley and Maloney has a birthday tomorrow. Petter Harum also has a birthday tomorrow, old Victory Music buddy. Terry Dixon from the Methow Valley, who I remember as the librarian at the Twist Library, has a birthday on, what day is that? Tomorrow. Yeah, Stefan Medioni from Victory Music Days has got a birthday on Thursday. Princess Tiffany from KOZI has a birthday on Saturday. And Brianna Holden, a recent friend of mine, a friend of Diane's from the University of Washington, also has a birthday on Saturday. So let's be wishing all those folks happy birthdays. A couple of birthdays I want to make note of especially are my friend Jim Page, who has a birthday on Thursday this week, and my friend Scott Higgins, who you've heard me mention many times on this show, has a birthday on Friday of this week. So, what to do first? And then we've got Jim and Renee had an anniversary last week, their 30th wedding anniversary. So since I brought Jim and Renee up first, Jim Endicott and his lovely wife Renee for 30 years, they wanted to hear couples hymn. So whether they see it live or whether they see it on the repeat, this is for Jim and Renee in celebration of their 30-year anniversary. And it's for all of the rest of us too. This was in response to my songwriting group wanting to write a song about isolation. So here you go.
Who are all these people in my head? One of them said, staring through half-open blinds. None of what's sacred's been spread over the dead, echoes in an unsettled mind. Isolation is a cavity, isolation with its gravity. I know I've seen about as much of me as anyone can take. That's how I know that you and I are no mistake. No mistake. We never knew that fear could feel like this, equal parts bliss and lists of the recently gone. And what about that vinegar and piss we don't really miss with each irreplaceable dawn? Isolation is a cavity, isolation with its gravity. I know you've seen about as much of me as anyone can take. That's how I know with you and I are no mistake. No mistake. No mistake.
There you go. So, as you see, I'm dressed casually. Yes, this could be a like a pajama top. It's like, don't you have a favorite shirt? Is that just a guy thing? Is a favorite shirt just a guy thing? Enter the hand. Hey, you know that your hand there, hand. It smells just like that soap that Demetra Swiger sent you. Yes, the hand. Oh, Jason's birthday was August 2nd, so that would have been what, Sunday. Happy birthday to Jason too. Jason, who probably had something to do with this. At least in spirit, I hope. Lori, you are unbelievable. Yeah. Adam Hunt, rock on, Garth. Yeah. Lynette Hensley and Larry Baumgardner. Kathy Brewer's here, Val Sanford, Mark Kinney, Joseph Webb, Holly Tuttle, Kim Nelson, Colette. Cool. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so poetry tonight. Poetry tonight by this local guy, Bill Davie. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of him. He's sent, you know, he's not controversial. No, he's not controversial. He's, I don't know what he is. He's nervous. That's what he is. He's nervous. That's what he is. I was talking to my buddy Kelly today. I told him, you know, rehearsing my own poetry and reading it aloud has really done something for me. It's really made me feel a lot more confident as a songwriter, if you catch my drift. Yeah. So I'm going to be reading some of my own poems tonight, which feels kind of, am I got a rash? I feel like I'm getting a rash. Sorry. So I'm going to start with one that's, I'm not sure if this is even a poem. It's one that Diane likes, and I like it too for what it is. So, and it's kind of an invocation of a sort. I write a lot of invocations. I write a lot of first songs, the song you want to open with, and a lot of ending songs and stuff, you know? It's interesting. We'll see how that works in the poetic realm. It's called Supplication. This is not indicative of what my poetry is like. None of my poems are indicative of what my poetry is like, which is maybe one of the problems. It goes like this, Supplication. Mother of images, answer me thus. If I am to know you, if I am to count all my Christmases, birthdays, and anniversaries based on the number of stars in your sky, will you not vouchsafe me words of clarity and precision each morning so that my days might begin with a song? I am small in my learning, smaller still in certainty, but formidable in age and fear. Show me again where the doors are, where hinges creak, where tools are hidden away from weather and rust. I will treat them with respect and return them at the bottom of each page to their proper shelf. I will not embarrass you with trumpets of ego. I will not drag your name out under bright lights or announce our collaboration near microphones. I will keep all the secrets of our league
Jump the fiery hoops of our unbalanced dance. Quote the familiar mysteries when asked if you are coming. Great mother of word hordes, look upon me with favor. Do not abandon me with years left to serve and no songs to secure my passage. That's called supplication. Okay, let's go to a different kind of a poem now. This one's been posted on my Facebook page for a while, if people dig that deep. It's called On the Narrows. This one will go to my friend Scott Higgins as well, and to his mother and father, Ken and Julie Higgins, who I hope are out there somewhere, or will be someday. His sister Stacy, his sister Dana. On the Narrows. I grew up on the Narrows. Maybe that's why I love rivers. That foggy morning when the log boom broke and cedar trees wandered on the mirror of the outbound tide, Ken took the ski boat out and Scott the skiff, towing logs for shakes to side and roof the house and kindling for a winter's warmth in the wood stove before the fog lifted and tugs regathered the boom. The Narrows didn't move like a river, but what did I know? This was life on the Mississippi, and I, the barefoot lad with rolled-up overalls lying back in a rowboat, pole extended, mooching for cod at our secret hole down by the cut. I could dream for days on the smell of split cedar and salt water. How am I doing so far? Are the numbers going down? Are people leaving the room? Should I? Yeah. We'll continue. I think I have these in the right order here. Yeah, I think I do. Let's see. This one is called Nighthawk Sky. I don't know if it's true here, but when I lived in Twisp, at dusk, the nighthawks would be swooping around, catching bugs. See them everywhere. They had a very distinctive silhouette against the twilight sky. Nighthawk Sky. Don't let me fall down now, embattled by the inevitable. Where I was husky, now a husk. As many pains as places. The face a cracked plaster cast of a former face. And only 61. The courage to face 70 must be found out in the dark wood forest. Look up at the dimming nighthawk sky and know why. Okay, let's go to, where are we going now? I got about 12 or 13 of these to read to you, so let me get through some of them, then I'll play some more songs, and I'll come back and do more later. This was another request from Diane. I like this one too because it tells a true story from my youth on Fox Island. Excuse me. This is called Wet Side Wonders. This is me driving, starts out me driving across Stevens Pass, coming from eastern Washington back to western Washington. The day sounds like water, and I am moving back through time, wet tires whipping rain into the air, to fall again as highway mist, as back spray on a mountain pass that travels me over to my home coast, around the Puget Sound, where there used to be codfish and cutthroat, acres of clams and gooey ducks on the sandy shores of Anderson Island, where we boated to across the widening Narrows, past Alcatraz like McNeil, and dug for those long-necked squirters in slanting summer rain, and my dad's face had me crying on the trip back, him sitting above the boat's windshield, rain splattering his unshaven cheeks, dripping from his stubbled chin, so that I thought he was suffering, when actually he was jubilant for the day's shellfish catch and the clam bake to come. Just caught in a Puget squall, bouncing off the white caps to gather us home, where Mom would start the big pot of chowder we'd dip from for weeks, like time and tides and the Sound's bounty had no end. Wet Side Wonders. I wish I could read them all 2 or 3 times. Oh well. This is a poem from my friend Ray, up in the Met House. Ramu.
hand drummer extraordinary, guru of garlic, and one of the touchstones of my life. I'm mentioning a lot of those tonight. There will be more. The hand. You're making me dizzy with it. But wait. David Pileski. Is this on Ica's like? Is this in? I don't get that. J.P. Patches used to have supplication. Wow. In the Narrows, Colette loved that poem. Adam Hunt, In the Narrows was deep. Lots of love bubbles going. Okay. Thank you, Kathy Brewer. Cool. So this is from my friend Ray, who lives up in the Meadow. He's on Libby Creek. It's called In the Middle of Everywhere. Angle of sunlight, low in the east. Frost melting on bunch grass and fescue. Crunch of pine needle bed underfoot, or flat on belly, scratching down, measuring duff depth with Ray. In search of the elusive spiral snail shell, evidence of microcosmic life atop of slope of second-growth ponderosa, lodgepole pine, and Doug fir. Deer and bear scats in the shadows, stand of yellow larches farther up, traversing the lumpy spine of a ridge. Ray, with contour map and compass bearing, guides us up to the middle of nowhere and back down to his beat blue pickup. Mind and body lit in late summer heat on an outcrop of basalt in the womb of breath. A little Snyder in there, perhaps, Bill. It's one of the things I think about in my poems. I can always hear who, the poet that I'm imitating or emulating or something. Yeah. Okay, one more, and then we'll get back to some more songs. But I will be doing some more poetry later on, so, gird thyself. Okay. I'm going to start with a poem. It's kind of about my kids, and then when I come back, I'm going to read a couple of poems for my kids, and one for Diane, and some other stuff, some really recent stuff. This is called Now and Then. Calmer now than before, when out of gray dawn a tempest grew, out of dew on grass, pebbles kicked in darkness to begin a walk. I struggled for purpose then, feared the cougar darting from scrub by road as I walked in slow dark. In that part of the world, cougars belonged more than we, certainly more than me, unsuited as I was for subsistence. I insulated the house with books, stood in the open doorway smoking while all the heat escaped, told my children over and over how happy I was, how they shouldn't fear the cougar, how I would protect them from it and everything, and knew it was true to a point. Now and then. Okay, all right. We'll get back to that. As you see, I'm very organized. I try to be very organized when it comes to my poetry. There's so much of it. Yeah. Is that a good thing? I think the main problem is I haven't performed my poetry enough to have any kind of sense of it at all. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do, Bill? What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do? No. Jim Page has got a birthday on Thursday.
Oh, I ride the crosstown buses, down the alleys past the houses, where the watchdog watches out for strangers on the loose. I pick an address off the sidewalk, prick my way in past the padlock, where the hot wire burglar alarm is sucking up the juice. One man's laws, another man's crime, it ain't nothing but a sign of the times. The dirty son of an LA DJ, hot rod racing down the LA freeway, wrong way down the one-way right away, right into a crash. They send out for an aid car, come up running with a crowbar, pry him out and work him over so he don't get whiplash. One man's loss, another man's crime. It ain't nothing but a sign of the times. All the low-down rounders and the dug-in undergrounders hang around with out-of-towners out looking for their chance. Panhandle proposition, play upon your superstition. Sleight of hand, pick the pockets right out of your pants. One man's laws, another man's crime. It ain't nothing but a sign of the times. The street corner preacher, he's an ex-karate teacher, black belt evangelist doing God's almighty will. While all the hardcore sinners eat their pornographic dinners, go to church and bribe the minister with a $20 bill. One man's laws, another man's crime. It ain't nothing but a sign of the times. Old ladies with their nurses carry pistols in their purses to protect them from the children who are out of control. Adolescent alcoholics pickpocket people's wallets to work their way through grade school and make the honor roll. One man's laws, another man's crime. It ain't nothing but a sign of the times. The country singer from Tacoma says he's born in Oklahoma, learned to ride in Arizona, and he's got the boots to prove it. While all the jukebox groupies, they all knock him for a loop. He thinks he's got to be the greatest, he's got the record sales to prove it. One man's laws, another man's crime. It ain't nothing but a sign of the times. Yes, these times they are confused, and it's enough to make you blow a fuse, and it's enough to make you throw up your hands and say, what's the use? But keep your eyes out on the double, we're headed straight for trouble. This whole wide world, you know, is gonna bust out on the loose. One man's laws, another man's crime. It ain't nothing but a sign of the times. One man's laws, another man's crime. It ain't nothing but a sign of the times. What's going on over here? Barely got out of that alive. Happy birthday, Jim. Jim Page. Touchstone. Touchstone. One of the many. If you're not watching Jim's live streams, he's going to town, baby. Going stronger than ever. Jim Page, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it. I don't know. Want to hear another old one? That wasn't the song. No, that wasn't it. See if I can remember this one. He's wandered into a valley full of wine. 15 years he's avoided the warning signs. His voice on the phone is the voice of the rain. You can hear the cells dying in the meat of his brain. He's wandered into a valley full of wine. Paints a self-portrait of the tireless renegade. doesn't recognize his own face as it starts to fade. We all try to tell him, but he just doesn't know. There's that image to feed and that pain to control. He paints a self-portrait of the tireless renegade. Sit in a circle and try to imagine home. His friends and his family weaving a slender robe. We can't feel guilty and we can't look away, because behind cloudy eyes there's a reason to pray. We sit in a circle and try to imagine home. Wandered into a valley full of wine, and the hands of a poet bear the warning signs. His voice on the phone is the voice of the rain. You can hear the cells dying in the meat of his brain, and the hands of a poet bear the warning signs. Wandered into a valley full of wine. Oh, oh,
There you go. I see Mr. Gary Schulstad out there. Yes. The hand. The hand is back yet again. The hand. Scott. Good. I wanted to play Scott's song because Scott's got a birthday coming up. Scott's got a birthday coming up. Oh, guess I better retune that thing. Hey, is everybody okay? Am I doing all right? Is it going? Is it happening? So, speaking of touchstones, Scott. Scott was about, well, he's, 4 years older than me. So when I was a kid and I wanted somebody to look up to, he was the man. He was my man. He taught me a lot about being a young adult. Not by anything he said. He wasn't a big talker. He's just a big doer. Recently became a grandfather. Rhonda became a grandma. So I wrote this song for Scott after, actually it was after my last gig out in the world, which was on March the 5th at the CMP Coffee Company. Scott showed me some pictures of this carving he was making for his daughter. It was a backboard that natives used to use to carry carry their babies with. So I call it a shield in the song because backboard didn't have the right kind of syntactic kind of qualitative presence that I was going for, like this sentence here. This is called Life on the Sound. And it's another saltwater song.
Scott carved a shield for his daughter, First Nations designs he had seen. Out of cedar he pulled from the water, and the carvers he met in his dreams. Now she carries his grandchild inside her as they take the path down to the bay, skipping stones on the still morning mirror, with everything and nothing to say. Life on the Sound is a long recitation of fog on the shoreline and rain in rotation. It's a dewy-eyed lover, it's a new generation, and exactly where you need to be. Alma drove home for the summer from a secret that she left behind. There was high drama out on the desert, and the rivers unsettled her mind. What she needs is the peace and the stillness, the slow breath of tides on the beach, the smell of her mother's warm blankets, and all she requires within reach. Life on the Sound is a long recitation of fog on the shoreline and rain in rotation. It's a dewy-eyed lover and a good explanation of exactly where you need to be. Barney was a gooey duck miner. He could fill 7 buckets a day, and his chowder was the talk of the island back before all the fish moved away. Now he sits on his rock in the twilight, and he smiles as the memories float by. Now the mainland has swallowed the sunset, making way for this flickering sky. Life on the Sound is a long recitation of fog on the shoreline and rain in rotation. It's a dewy-eyed lover, it's a standing ovation, and exactly where you need to be. Life on the Sound is a long recitation of fog on the shoreline and rain in rotation. It's a dewy-eyed lover, it's a standing ovation, and exactly where you need to be.
There you go, Scott. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday, Scott. Happy birthday, Jim. Happy anniversary, Jim and Renee. I nailed it. I nailed them all. Got it. Anyway, it's all because of the venti white chocolate mocha. That's why it happened. What do we got time-wise? Oh, time for a few more poems, okay? Just a few. It's Tim's fault. Tim Swanler. He's the one. He's the one who insisted. Yeah. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum. Okay. Sorry. Here we go. Okay. This is a poem I wrote for Alyce when she was turning 19. I was going to be driving up to Bellingham. North. North, Bill. Which way's north? Ah, north. The books are to the north, Bill. The books. Look at Allen Ginsberg's face back there. That's north. Okay. I was heading up to Bellingham to see Alyce for her birthday. It's called You Are 19. 19. After a weekend of memorial services, you are 19. Today I want nothing more than to drive away from death, anyone's really, my own especially. This part of the Cascade skyline is still new. Mount Baker is a crowning glory, but all those lower snow caps too, in stark relief against gray. Though I am not your first choice of companion, please remind me that youth is not all steady feet and certain mind. I'd like to remember confusion because it's pliable and full of tomorrows. Art is a world with many seasons but no edges. You stand on the same promontory in 20 years and capture a different sky, revise the snow line, and bring new animals out of the trees. Sunrise can signal the beginning of tedium, yet no two are alike. These are things I want you to remember because they'll save your life, keep a wash of new colors near your brush tip, and because I've forgotten them often enough to blush. A daughter's love is the only one a man can ever truly believe. Maybe it's biology, or dreams, or because of how he loves his mother. Confusion and love often travel together across years. When years become decades, when children become adults, when paint dries and the view hardens, few things hold their color as well as love. You'll want to remember that too. As years harden the skin, they soften the heart. Be there to remind me. This one's for James. It's called For My Son. A child with his soul on his sleeve. Outside in abundance, a stick for a sword, describing the game to his dog, following wind with his eyes, knowing the sound of any bird and its branch. I have watched you, swollen with pride, like I actually had something to do with it, your talent for compassion, your eye for friends, how you conquer each day with your brightness, how I never see you bored. If childhood were only longer than a season, and if those pots of soup and warm loaves of bread were all we had to do, if only the hammer of capitalism had never been raised to fall, we'd still be out at the rope swing. We'd still be down at the river following the dog. There is too much to learn about how to block out daily magic, mistrust tricks of light that put stars in a lake and cause them to nibble at our baited hooks. But should probably be more organized. This one's for Diane. Hey, look what it's called, For Diane. It's me looking out this window right here. A lot of my poems, especially lately, are me looking out this window right here. Because, you know, I don't get out a lot. Do you? For Diane. Evening sun on maple flowers dangling over the parking lot. It is the end of a Monday, and the weight of a week's work hangs over like a temple of rust, tarnishing the dream time. Enough riches to retire. Enough gems to line the walkway with stars. A day and its resonance. I am in love with the day, the labor, the hope.
in love with a woman who steadies me even as she flies her own kites. There is a strength between us which props the limbs that bear the fruit. And gratitude is always the morning prayer, even among coffee dregs and the lunchbox tethered to a clock. I will swallow any seed we are given. Okay, I want to read a few of these. I've been working on recently I've been working on a sequence called the Pandemic Suite. There's no connectivity between these poems except when they were written. So, I think. Or if there is connectivity, it hasn't appeared to me yet. So I'm going to read 3 of these real quick here. This one's called Low. These all have been written in the last few months. Low. Brought low by this history, the one painted in headlines across the world, scrawled on every bare wall. Not to notice is more work than you were ever taught to do, and the temptation to bury yourself in booze or binge watching is screaming through your viscera like a pandemic. You want to know everything. You want to know nothing. The generations wherein that was the primary choice stare up at you from your children's eyes and make you blind with shame. All the bottles are empty now, and they weren't enough. A day of reckoning takes over every calendar, and you must sign your name to a promise you haven't written yet. This one's called In Praise of Rain. As rain resumes its task of cleaning the world, I vent my rage at the latest betrayal by technology. Can we rescue ourselves from a virtual world which is primarily addictive and secondarily someone else's property? We've broadcast our art into it, and it hoards it and owns it and thumbs its digital nose. How were we hypnotized into thinking this was freedom? Meanwhile, the rain has never lied to us, never led us off a cliff or into a bottomless pool with walls too slick to climb, then watched us exhaust ourselves before sinking into the oblivion of the unknown. Nature enjoys our devotion and never charges us a dime. It's other people who profit from it, selling $1 million view with a $20 tent, along with the legal fees and court costs of a losing cause. I will keep entering the rain in search of solace, eagerness born out of a frustration with all human enterprise. In the rain, I can watch wet raccoons cross from culvert to culvert between parked cars in the quiet hour before sunrise. Listen to the debate amongst a murder of crows high up in the tower of a western hemlock, and glimpse the white-assed rabbit dash from invisibility to a sheltering hedge at the last second. Still there? This one's called Crows On. Crows On. Right through that window. Crow on the lid of a car, picking at the cracks between roof and door, around the antenna, picking out bits too tiny to see from my third-story window across the way. Crow on the fence behind the cars, chases off a squirrel, drops to the other side, comes back with something white, like half a French fry, takes it to the rooftop where friends drop by unexpected, so she flies off for private breakfast. Crow on the roof over my head is all sound, a Morse code of cracking and digging, endless thuds and taps. Expect her to drop through onto my desk at any moment, both of us startled, neither of us strangers. One more love poem, then I'll be done. This is called 2-Year Music. This one has got Diane's seal of approval on it. So you can see I want to finish with that. 2-Year Music. I wrote a whole book of poems for Diane called 2-Year Music.
But this poem wasn't in it. I wrote this poem after. Yeah. 2-year music. 2-year music sings in dreams where we curve into each other. We are the shapes we always looked for. Silence swells with meaning like it's supposed to, and not with scorn or distance or dread. When we were young, we imagined a certain path, but when the time came, a fiction eclipsed it. Not deep enough for years, broken cars, small apartments. After a while, the binding broke, yellowed pages everywhere. We lived in vast empty rooms without corners, tried to gather some valuables, built small fires out of what we could find. When the doors finally opened, it was because somebody dreamed it first. Women are better at that, and at turning on lights. That was 2 years of music ago. Turns out the path before the fiction was a good life all along, just wide enough for our dreams and lights. There you go. Okay, Tim. Can't say I didn't read any of my poems. Tomorrow I'll get audio from Tim. He'll say, yeah, you kind of went long on the poems there, Bill. We could have done with fewer, you know. How are we doing on time? See, now we're running close to the end here. I may have to run a little over tonight if that's okay with anybody. I see Gary's still out there. I hope Gary's still out there. He wanted to hear Ravine. Gary wanted to hear Ravine. And I still kind of got it in my hands before I forget it again or it slips out of my reach. What songs tend to do, not because I'm old and busted, although that may have something to do with it, but because there's so many of them. It's like, I can't, the hard drive, it's like, you know, I push something in one ear and something's falling out the other. That's how it works these days. Anyway, for Gary.
He will learn how to compromise. He will grieve his ideal, tip a glass to the memory. And he'll know, and he'll know that what took his sister's life just last July was as casual as breathing is to you and I, and that accidental angels get their wings going off the road to a ravine. You're alive, and that's enough for me. We're in love, that's the gravy. Tip a glass to solidity. And I know, and I know that his picture still hangs somewhere in your mind, and that suitcase in the closet is still undefined, and that time and feelings steer toward the mysteries, going off the road and into a ravine. He will learn how to compromise. He will grieve his ideals, tip a glass to the memory. And he'll know, and he'll know that what took his sister's life just last July was as casual as breathing is to you and I, and that accidental angels get their wings going off the road into a ravine. Off the road.
There you go, Gary.
Phew, phew, phew.
Wrote that song after listening to a lot of REM. New Adventures in Hi-Fi. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. What are we doing? What's my name? Am I from around here? Well, let's see. We could finish off with something that would be a very strange song to end on, but that might be kind of cool, right? Be cool to end on something weird. I know Diane likes it. What are you doing after? I'm hanging out with her. Okay.
Floating out to sea, no one escapes the clock on the wall. And how many repetitions till you've seen it all? You were the silencer, you were the victim here. It didn't matter what you thought or what you learned. You got a lot of it, it fascinates me. Once in a while I revert to childhood to see if magic's still a possibility. Sometimes it is, sometimes it matters, but how can it matter when it matters most to me? And yes, it bothers me, then I explode a lot. One little doubt turns into two, turns into three. You got a lot of it, it fascinates me. all the M's out. Make lots of pretty little origami men. Cute little names and cute little numbers. Let someone try to call you antisocial then. And yes, it's criminal the way they hounded you, as if insurance were the answer to your prayers. You got a lot of it, it fascinates me. And yes, it's criminal the way they hounded you, as if insurance were the answer to your prayers. You got a lot of it.
Wow, big finish. Big finish there. Before I go, I wanted to say rest in peace, Michael Peter Smith of Chicago, Illinois. Author of such great songs as The Dutchman, what else? Spoon River. And if you've ever heard Cat Eggleston do The Princess and the Frog, Michael Peter Smith of Chicago, Illinois. We lost him yesterday, I believe. Anyway, folks, that's all for tonight. Thank you for hanging out, for coming back. And I will be back next week with my songs, someone else's poems. Yeah. Okay? In the meantime, be good to each other. Stay casual if you can. Stay safe.